Beat It AT, what up? Beat It AT, what up? Beat It
My personal favorite way on structuring a beat, it kind of goes like this. You guys kind of see it already. I like to start with the intro, obviously, because that's the introduction. We're kind of giving the listener an idea of what kind of song they're listening to. So that intro needs to be a representation of the full song. You can, I guess, catch your listener with something random in the beginning, but it's kind of good to give them a little bit of a taste. They will know within 5 seconds if they're going to like this song, or they'll have an idea if they would like it. So continuing on, very short intro, only 17 seconds long, and then goes right into that chorus. So that chorus kind of breaks into two different parts. There's half of it over here, half of it over here. So this is about 4 bars. Here's 4 bars. So it's a total of 8 bars. The intro is 4 bars. The reason why it is saying otherwise is because we are over 100 beats per minute. So technically that is double time. This is where it can get kind of confusing. So I'm going to try my best not to go too technical, but just know that because we're over 100, although this says 8, it's 4 in this case of this beat, in this scenario. So it's 4 bars, and coming into here, we got our 8-bar chorus. So for the first 4 bars, I kind of keep the melody simpler. I don't have this end of this vocal, so you hear the but at the end of the chorus, you hear the flute. But over here, that long drawn out, we don't have that in that first half. And the reason why is I want to make the chorus interesting. If I just kept it these 2 elements just looping, it's just going to get boring. The person already knows what they're hearing the first half. But on the same token, I don't want to change it up too much where the artist and songwriter would mistaken it for a different section in the song. So if I made that section too different than this section, then how would they know that this is still the chorus? Because the reality is, when you put these beats up online or send these beats out to an artist, you're probably obviously not going to be in the recording session. So your opinion and what you say is quite limited to the artist. So you're kind of prepping the artist for your vision of the beat. We want to make sure that this flows into this. And so really, other than that, this little thing right here, which isn't over here, I added, the only other thing that I think of is I added some additional kicks, just some additional kick patterns. Whereas over here, you see we don't got some of those kicks. It's just to add a little bit more bounce. But I made 2 relatively small changes, but those changes are enough to keep the beat interesting and adding some flavor without doing it too much. And so then we transition into the verse. So intro, chorus, verse. The verse is a 12-bar measure, but the last 4 bars we don't have an 808 or a kick. So you could kind of say that could be our bridge. So if we were to add this, but that's kind of optional. The artist can continue rapping. So let me explain. So I'm gonna just play this. we don't have those kicks in 808. That omission of the kick in 808 kind of shifts the tone. And when we take that out, we're kind of allowing more headroom. So to show you what I mean, there's a lot of, when I say headroom, so this line being where we can't go past, there's a lot of gap in there. But when we come into that chorus, there's not a lot of gap in here in that chorus, because we obviously brought in the kick in 808, so that impact is going to hit harder. So the chorus is just automatically, because there's less elements and it goes into more, it's just going to sound louder, or not only sound louder, but just sound fuller in sense. So I kind of purposely structure that bridge section before the chorus. I always do it before the chorus. Like if I maybe instead of getting rid of the 808s, maybe I will add like a bass line, like a Moog bass line, something where it doesn't hit as hard, but there's still some filler there, rather than if we had the 808. Like here, I'll show you what I mean. We'll just even play like right here. Like, yeah, it obviously still hits, but it just sounds better. So then we go back into the chorus, and then we go back to the verse, and it pretty much just loops. I keep it simple because if the artist were to buy the track out, so they could kind of rearrange it slightly, I mean, with their engineer. So my goal is to not complicate it and make it too hard of a beat for them to rap on. It's just to make it good enough so they can understand it and get the vibe, and then do their thing over it, fill it in with ad-libs, layers, stabs, whatever, and move on to the next song. So, I'm not trying to overcomplicate this and introduce some crazy beat transition. Not for this. This is a simple Tyga West Coast Club beat. So keep it simple. So then